OPHIUCHUS. I'm here to give you once in a blue moon, supermoon series wildcard read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're going to dive right in and just see what energies are in play for you leading up to that blue supermoon in Pisces. It's coming up on August 31st. This will be a culmination of energies. It's when you kind of reach a point where all the ingredients come together to get something cooking. Okay, so let's see what you're going to get cooking, what is coming in for OPHIUCHUS. All right, we got something that, you know, maybe it was like a reversal for you in the past, something gone wrong. Maybe there's something that you kind of like lit a torch to that you realize, you know, maybe I shouldn't have burned that bridge. You're rethinking something, okay? You're wanting to open something up, or somebody's wanting to open something up with you. I see this as like repair work. That's what it gives me the vibe of. It feels like maybe something really seemed like, oh my gosh, you know, this is just like totally destroyed. There's no way to rectify this situation, this connection. I feel like you're working something out, okay? There's an opportunity to reverse what felt like it might not have been the wisest decision. Maybe it was something that was decided upon impulsively. Maybe there was some action that was taken that was a little too rash. There's some kind of new understanding in the situation. Woo, and a lot came out here. Yeah, I think that, you know, you're busting up the monotony in your life. You're ready to like reclaim a sense of happiness. And you know, in order to do that, there's some kind of reversal, some kind of decision that was made or action that was taken. Over here, we do have, interesting, we have the cat lady, okay, coming in with the attack, all right? So you might be dealing with a testy Leo energy is a possibility. Could be also a Leo coming in front and center around this, just because it's Leo season, you know, it might just be the Leo season. Something's going down here. There's somebody you got a bone to pick with, okay? Or there's somebody who's on the attack. I feel like this woman here is on the attack. This strikes me very strongly. I mean, we got cat lady energy around this, okay? So I don't think that that is just an accident there. I feel that there is one person here that's kind of standing on their own. Maybe they're standing out from a crowd. Maybe they got a lot of other women around them that are kind of attacking energies. Maybe they're also sort of like women that are trying to get information, or kind of just, it's got frenemy vibes to me, okay? Maybe there's something you know about this. There's something you want to illuminate here. Maybe you got your own surprise attack planned. You know, this is very interesting energy in play. It seems like there's some kind of dynamic going on here where it gives me the feel of like faction energy. Like maybe there's, you know, people around you you can't necessarily trust. There might be a Leo that's on the attack just for that to come in. You might be making some moves or taking some steps in your own self-interest, and you're kind of like keeping it quiet. There might be people hovering around you that you know, or just sort of like hovering around you, trying to get information about what you might be up to. I think you're just like, you know, this is kind of funny because I do think that there's some kind of happiness that you want to go for here. Okay, you got your eyes set on the prize, all right? But with it coming up in reverse, I feel like you're just presenting this image of like, oh, it's just the same old, you know, business as usual. You know, I'm just working really hard, you know, doing what I need to do to just, you know, keep everything afloat. I don't think you're giving these people, you know, any kind of education about the situation, about what's going on. You're not necessarily making it easy for them. I think you're kind of trying to give this impression. This is what I feel. You're giving an impression of like, yep, I'm towing the line, you know. Yeah, you know, you're like, yeah, we're good. We're all good. You got like this handshake energy here, right? You know, you got somebody, you know, right where you want them, actually. You know that somebody has been shady with you. You know somebody's been working against you. This is like, you really got this person in a pinch. That's what I got, you know. You got them right where you want them. They think everything's copacetic, you know. They think there's a deal between the two of you, but really you got the upper hand in this situation, I feel. And I feel like this has to do with some kind of like spiritual connection. It has something to do with like you being in partnership with your soul. Like there's something here that you're keeping it all to yourself. You feel like this is what leads to my happiness. You know, there's sabotaging influences around you. There's people that are trying to pry for information. You're kind of just maintaining this image of it's status quo around here, you know. You're keeping things copacetic, but I do feel there's something here that you're like, you're upset about, you know, you're upset about. And I do feel like there is some woman here that's on the attack, okay? She's on the attack. She's on the attack. I got Leo energy around that just because it's coming in as the cat lady. That just gives me that impression. Let's go ahead and do the cut of the deck on this energy here, and then I'm going to pull out the Paulina Tarot. This has something to do with love, or something that's really setting your heart on fire here. And there's also temptation in the mix of this as well. And we know that there's snakes in the grass here, okay? There are people, and even people that you might not be aware of, because I just recently cued in. Ted just shook his head yes, okay? I just recently cued into this, and this is very important here. I never had noticed this about this card before, but if you look really closely, you see those little gray snakes that are hiding amongst the two obvious ones. I think that you've already like, you got a couple people sussed out that you're like, I know you're not who you say you are to me. And that came through at 7:11 on the clock. So I feel like, you know, you're in touch with your spirit. I also feel like you've been getting your own downloads lately. You've been getting your own psychic impressions. You're very strong intuitively. You already have, you know, that sense, that sixth sense operating very strongly in you. It doesn't take a weatherman to tell you which way the wind blows. You know what I'm saying? I think you already have some inside knowledge in this situation. But I do feel there's also some knowledge that you're keeping to yourself, that it really, like, look at this, like lightning bolt that wants to rise up this tree. It's like, when this knowledge drops, it's going to shake the roots of some people. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be a destabilizing influence for them. Now, I feel like this is what's trying to be caused for you, you know, and you're aware of this, that you got a couple people you need to watch out for, because they want to try to create division between you and another. All right. You may even have somebody that's kind of like whispering in your ear, you know, somebody who's acting like as an informant. All right. With this energy here, though, this kind of like Lilith sort of energy, I feel like this is somebody that you know you can count on, okay? So there's somebody that's an advisor here that you know you can count on, but this is a piece that's super important. There's also like there's still hidden, you know, saboteurs around you, all right, that you need to be mindful of. In some cases with these, you know, shadowy snakes really resembling the roots of this tree, some of it could be, you know, sabotaging influences within yourself as well. And so it's about really like understanding the basis of what's driving you forward right now, what it is you're wanting to create. I think that you know that you got, again, there's this message coming through very strongly for you. You got somebody right where you want them. And maybe this person's been a source of chaos in your life. You know, they caused a lot of disruption in your life. They stirred things up in your life. They rocked your own stability, okay? Or you see that somebody's been trying to do this to another. I kind of get a little bit of this vibe too, like you might know about somebody that's on the attack and you're wanting to put somebody in the loop as well. I get kind of a dualistic story there for you. Okay, so you got to, you know, feel out which side that is for you. I think you'll know. I feel like this is something that's already on your radar. So what I'm dropping here isn't any news to the Ophiuchuses that I'm talking to here. How do you say plural Ophiuchus? Is it Ophiuchuses or is it Ophiuchi? Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. But I feel like you're ready to cause a little disruption too. You know that whatever you're about to do, I see this compass energy. So I think you've got a new sense of direction. I think you have a new direction you're heading in. You know it's going to cause a little disruption, but I don't know. Look at you. Look at your face, Vegas. There's part of you, you're like, yeah, let's do it. Because I think whatever you're coming into alignment with is something you're really ready to come into alignment with. It feels like guided to you. But I think that you know that you're operating in some kind of testy waters. I really got that. I mean, this is what it is. Your heart's on the line. We see you've been through a lot of hardship. You've been through a lot of hurt. We see those thorns there, you know. It takes the thorns to get to the sweetness of the bloom. And I just saw a bird come flying down from above. Okay, so yes, you know, that is the message from spirit. And I think there is something that has you lit up. You know, you feel a heart connection, a soul connection. I'm getting spiritual vibes just because that tree of knowledge was there. So I do feel like there's something coming in here. I do feel like you're energetically drawn to this thing. It feels right in your heart, okay? And it's aligning with something, someone, okay? And I think you know that you're in kind of an environment where you can't trust everybody, so maybe you have to move a little stealth. You might need to have a game plan. It's making me think of Sun Tzu, the art of war. You know, there is a grace to the art of war. It's not aggression. It's actually a mind game. It's playing the long game. It's like knowing how to move strategically. And, you know, when you do make your move, yeah, it reminds me of that quote from Sun Tzu where he talks about, you know, I am paraphrasing here, but you know, he's talking about move in silence, and when you strike, you know, strike like a thunderbolt. And I think that that's kind of what this is about. You know, you got a certain knowledge that other people don't have in this situation, and it gives you an advantage. And when you strike, you're going to strike like a thunderbolt. All right. I'm also getting this piece just with the heart energy here, with that fire that's lit. I'm also looking at this, you know, what comes up for me when I look at the serpent energy with the tree of knowledge. It makes me think of the chakra system. It makes me think of Kundalini experiences. So you might be having a lot of new sensations in your body. You might be noticing a lot of activation in your body. You may be starting to have some kind of Kundalini awakening experiences. And so if you've been having unusual energetic experiences in your body, you might want to do some research into Kundalini awakening so you kind of understand what's happening. And I think this is also a bit of this like hidden knowledge, you know, awakening as within you as well. It's like, you know, this very much reminds me like Freemasons, you know, so I feel like there's also some deeper spiritual undercurrent to this, something you're tapping into. But I think you're moving stealth because you know that the direction you're going to head in, I mean, it stirs things up. It does. We got the blender here. You know, things are going to get mixed up. We see there's some angry people in this blender. I don't think they're going to be too happy about it. I have the impression that, you know, these people that have been hovering around trying to do intel, they're not going to be too happy about it. Could be a Leo that's not too happy about it. Okay, that's a possibility. Or some woman who like has a lot of cats around her. I don't know. Maybe she's kind of a cat lady. She's known for that, right? There's some kind of cat connection for that to come in. It just strikes me in that way. But I see that, you know, you're coming into alignment with something with infinity here. I just heard to infinity and beyond, you know, so it's got that kind of vibe, right? But I also feel that before you can come into alignment with this, there's an old cycle. There's old stuff that needs to be digested. That's what the Ouroboros does. The Ouroboros, you know, eats itself. And I feel like what you're eating away is like an old version of yourself. I feel like you're shedding your skin in a big way. And I think you're also in this place right here. You know, you're ready to be self-satisfied. You're ready to, you know, you're ready to have what you need to be happy, to feel fulfilled. You know, maybe you've been in a position where you've had to take care of a lot of other people and you're kind of just ready to have what you want for yourself. There might be some people that feel that's really selfish of you. but you think it's kind of selfish of them to expect you to just continue to toe the line. Ted just snorted indignantly, yeah, to toe the line on something that isn't really speaking to you and doesn't work for you, all right? You could possibly be born in the year of the pig in Chinese astrology as well. All right, so that's a pretty good baseline. Let's hop in here to the Paulina Tarot and just get some further information. Yeah, there's something here that's been a disappointment for you, okay? You've been looking back at it. You've been feeling a sense of loss. This could have been something that was spoiled due to a third-party interference. This could be something that was spoiled due to somebody having an addiction. This could be something that was spoiled just because it didn't live up to what you thought it would be. There's some kind of celebration you were expecting or some healing you were hoping for. And you're looking back at this and you're analyzing this. And this is interesting because there's this little character here off to the side, this very fairy kind of energy, and is handing this pearl over to you and is saying, hey, there's a pearl of wisdom here. Not all is lost. There's still, a treasure to pluck from this experience. And I think what you realize is that, you need to take this pearl, and it's that wisdom from what you've learned, and it's time to apply it, because if you turn around, there's a rebirth energy here coming in with the Two of Cups with those bats. Okay, bats are all about rebirth. It's all about another chance, and with the Two of Cups, this is to come into alignment with another. All right, so I think you're closing out old cycles. You may be addressing some things that bring up a lot of grief for you. There's a lot of heaviness to sort through, but it's necessary for this transformation to occur. But I feel like you're getting right to the end of this. You need to go outside. Hold on a minute. Okay, go ahead, Ted. All right, so let's check this out. Tell me what more does Ophiuchus need to know about what's building with this blue supermoon that comes in Pisces on August 31st. If more details about the road that's opening up for Ophiuchus now. Any guidance, spirit? Ooh, okay, we've got quite a bit coming through for you. Oh yeah, ooh, wish fulfillment. Wow, that just flew out upright. What was that? Oh. Oh, interesting. This is what fell. It fell. That's what that noise was. This is interesting. I don't know if there's some past life stuff, karma you're clearing up with a past life maybe you relate to in Egypt, or if you know somebody who's really into Egyptology, maybe they're really drawn to Egyptian spirituality, something along these lines. This might be one of the snakes in the grass that you need to be aware of, because it landed face down. These are normally something that is worn by royalty, okay? And for this to fall face down, that makes me think of like false empress, false emperor energy, okay? This might be one of the snakes in the grass. This might be what at one point you thought was an ally, somebody who could give you guidance. They might come off as somebody who's very spiritual. Very interesting. Right as I went to pull up this card, this is what fell. Nine of Cups. Your wish fulfillment is coming through, but it involves, I think you're releasing something. You're letting something go. This may be the snake you're digesting. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, this may be the snake you're digesting because you realize it was blocking your growth. And this is the sharpest teeth little logo here. I just love their candles. This might be somebody who does a lot of candle magic. Maybe you suspect this person was trying to kind of like do some blocking work. All right. Very interesting. This person might also talk a lot. All right. They might be a gossiper. But I see this like eye of protection here. I think you getting rid of this energy is going to remove the blockages to your growth. You might have been dealing with some blockages on your path. Let me let Ted back in here. Come on, Ted. Give him just a second there. Okay. Yeah, I think this was somebody that, you know, there's somebody here that was giving you, feeding you information that was actually creating a lot of confusion for you. We have the Page of Wands, which would be your energy, okay? Your energy coming in with the moon here. Again, you know, gives me the impression just with that candle piece that came in, maybe this is somebody who really likes to do moon magic. I'm just trying to give you a vibe of this person, what their energy might be like. Also with the moon, this could be associated with a Cancer or a Pisces. That's possible too, okay? I'm just, all of these signs, when I bring them in, they're merely, you know, points of reference that might really ding something for you. So if you're kind of like feeling like, oh, it could be this person or that person, it might help you clue in a little bit more. But do be aware it's any significant placement in the chart, okay? So that really opens things up. But it feels almost like maybe you wanted to reach out to somebody, maybe you wanted to communicate to somebody, and this person was giving you information, so it would put you in this place of confusion. So you wouldn't be sure if that's the right thing for you to do, all right? This person could have been trying to affect your confidence. We do see wish fulfillment coming through for you. Let me see the bottom of the deck on this. Yeah, look at you. There you are, King of Cups, okay? You know, or this is who wants to come towards you. I feel like there's somebody that you're coming into alignment with. It does feel like it's very heart-centered. This feels emotional, you know. There's some kind of healing that's happening in this situation. There's some kind of renewal that's happening for you. And it's giving you a brand new view of how you want to move forward in your life. And I feel like you're really invested in this with the King of Pentacles here, okay? The King of Pentacles here. You might have actually had to transform a lot to be in the position to be able to even see the possibility of this. That applies whether you have this person coming towards you or you're the one making the offer. If you're the masculine making this offer, I feel like you really had to transform a lot to get to this place. I also think there's some connections and some vices, some things you've had to release. And maybe that's what's really coming to a head for you with this Pisces blue supermoon. You're in this process right now. You're like giving yourself over to this release, and it was 22:23 on the clock. So I think you understand, okay, I need to radically change something here if I'm going to move forward to what I really want to create for myself in my life. Some of you are letting go of vices. You're letting go of addiction, you know. Some of you are letting go of, you know, casual connections. You're letting go of kind of like player ways, you know. You're wanting something a little bit deeper. You understand the way this is holding you back. Some of you are starting to give up a way of working, you know. You realize you really feel a change to your job. It may afford you a certain kind of lifestyle, you know. I got like women, wine, song, you know, kind of being a globetrotter, this kind of energy. But at the same time, like this job, it doesn't really fulfill you on a soul level. You want to bring this to a close, okay? There's a lot of aligning with the heart here, though, with the King of Cups coming in with the King of Pentacles here. This makes me feel like somebody wants to make some kind of emotional commitment. It's like an emotional commitment to a healing process, though. It really feels like that to me. And it looks like there's alignment with another on the other side of this, okay? So there's something that comes through that brings some kind of healing, some kind of rebirth in matters of the heart, all right? It's beautiful, beautiful energy here, but something's being let go of, something's being released, something's being transformed. And I see you doing it very willingly. Look at that. You're just like wide open to it. You're saying yes to it. I know this needs to go. I really feel like you're closing out this karmic cycle by that Pisces supermoon that comes in on the 31st of August, okay? And that's what lets the light pour back into your life. Yeah, you're really in this letting go process right now. You're closing up old cycles with the Four of Swords. I feel like you got kind of like a higher calling in this. You're trusting where your spirit's leading you. You know, you're doing this totally by feel. And what's interesting for you is the more that you trust what you're feeling, the more you trust the guidance that's coming in, it's starting to renew your confidence, and you're starting to realize the way people were kind of like talking in your ear and leading you astray. As you start to take steps that are informed by your own intuitive knowing, not only is it empowering you, but it's also making you realize you're right on the mark. Like, and this is giving you the confidence to do what is going to be a very bold move. Okay, you're going to take a very bold action. You're very certain of it. You know what you want to do. You've been kind of like sitting with this for a while with that owl medicine there. Okay, I do feel like some of you, owl can represent magic. So I do feel like some of you have been dealing with an interesting situation where there's been some magic thrown around. Okay, and that's caused a lot of confusion, messiness. And it feels like, you know, this could be in the case of people were trying to kind of like block things for you, slow things down, impede, create division, create confusion, separation, this kind of energy. Okay, I think you're aware of it though. For that, whoever that applies to, I think you're already aware of that, and I think you already know how to handle this. Okay, and I feel like you've been transforming this energy. I feel that goes to somebody who already is really working the path. Okay, and they know how to work with situations like that. For others of you, you're really starting to understand things that you couldn't see before. It's almost like this energies that have been working against you, these frenemies, you know, these people that just haven't really been in your corner, and they don't want to see you kind of like leveling up. That's what I really got. These people want you to continue to kind of like pull them along, you know, and they don't care the way that that burdens you or the way it keeps you from having what really fulfills you. And I see you acting in your self-interest, and it's causing a bit of backlash, but I think you got really clear about what the dynamic was through, you know, what's been going on. It caused you to go into this place of self-reflection. Maybe you went through some difficulties, maybe just in feeling so confused, you felt like I need to just pull my energy back a little bit. I need to sit with what I'm really feeling so I can get very clear about what's going on here. And there's something that you gauge. There's some kind of wisdom, some kind of insight that you saw, you were able to see in the dark. It's like if I kind of close out all the distractions, I see things very clearly. And I feel like that's when you really aligned with your fire. Okay, so I see in the fall, you're going to take a really bold action. I think it'll shock people. They're not going to be expecting it. But it's totally informed. I just said, woo, 77 degrees. A big bold action for Ophiuchus, huh? Yeah? Oh, wow. Okay. Is it good? Yes, it's going to turn out good. You hear that? Yeah, it's going to turn out good. Okay. You're totally informed by spirit. This action's totally informed by spirit. You're following a higher directive. I got a lot of sentience around that. I think it involves like a new soul contract, okay? Some new contract. I think you're breaking old contracts and you're renewing a contract, or you are, you know, heading into an entirely different direction and forming a new soul contract. I also feel like this is you being the author of your own life. You are going to decide how you want to live your life, what that looks like. You're not going to let anybody tell your story for you. This may even have to do with you like writing some important letter, issuing some important communication, you know, really letting your truth be represented. When I said that, it was 29:22 on the clock. So this is like big alignment energy. You know, first you're coming into alignment with yourself. I see that's what's really culminating with that Pisces supermoon that comes in on the 31st of August. But I see in the fall, that's when you take an action and it brings you into alignment with another. And we see you, there you are, you're raising that wand, okay, with the magician energy here. You're directing it. And what does it lead to? It leads to this beautiful new beginning. There's that Ace of Pentacles, okay? The Ace of Pentacles is the same pentacle that this king is riding in with, okay? So this is a promise. This is like a promise to commit to something. This can be you make the first investment in, you know, really moving forward on a business idea you have. You break ground with that. You start to really build that dream, that vision. You'll see the full fruition of it by the time you hit the spring. Ace of Pentacles is a spring timing card. This thing will have roots. I also think it'll give you a lot of stability. There is this robin's egg nest here. Okay, so this is very much about you'll have a nest egg for the future. All right. This is also about really finding your sense of home and having the financial stability to have the kind of home you want. All right. So I feel like if you've been dealing with any kind of setbacks in your finances, it looks like finances are on the upswing. Look for a big action to be taken in this regard in the fall that'll be very inspired. You'll put it into motion. It leads to incredible success. I also feel like this is a commitment. Okay. I feel like this is a commitment in love. It's an offer. It's a serious offer. Either if you're masculine and you're making this offer, I think your offer will be received. I think you'll really see the fulfillment of this commitment and the growth that comes from it and how wise your judgment was by the spring. May even be moving in with this person in the spring, or something happens, you know, on the home front. In some cases, it could be pregnancy with those little eggs there. Okay. But it looks like something gets taken to the next level in the spring with this commitment and brings a lot of happiness. Okay. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of joy here with the sun. There's also sweetness with that hummingbird medicine, hummingbird coming in as animal medicine for you. Okay. And that's all about the sweet taste of life. They call the hummingbird La Chuparosa in a lot of indigenous, you know, native traditions, Native American traditions, and also all through, especially through the Southwest and into Mexico. You know, this is considered to be the hummingbird deity. La Chuparosa is the hummingbird deity that aligns you with who you're meant to be with, aligns you with your soulmate, brings true love, but is also known as the rose sucker. That's what La Chuparosa means, and it's extracting like that sweet nectar of life, the sweetness of the bloom. So I feel like this is what's coming in for you. It's going to really light you up. You know, it's going to give you that kind of carefree feeling you had when you were younger that you maybe haven't had in a long time. For those of you who've been really wanting to have a baby, or you've been having some concerns about a child, this turns out very well. There's a lot of happiness here, okay? But there's definitely something you're closing off, all right? There's something you're closing off. You're being very discerning about this. You know that you need to cut the cord on something. It needs to be a clean break. And you're drawing a line like under the past, and you know what your future looks like. 3322. You got all the building blocks here. It looks very positive for you, and brand new direction. Look at this with the full, and you're heading toward an Empress, or you're stepping into your Empress energy. Okay, this is beautiful. That's interesting because I brought in that piece before. You know, you may have been dealing with a false emperor, empress. Well, here comes the real deal. All right. Here comes the real deal. All right. This is beautiful. This is a lot of abundance. This is a lot of growth. This is a lot of healing. This is really being in your element, feeling yourself. Your health will be really good. Like the health of your life will be good. It's a job that happens from the inside out, you know. What we want to create for ourselves in our lives, it first has to take root within us. And I see you're doing that work right now. You're cleansing away a lot. It's interesting because the first super moon that kicked off this particular cycle that we're in right here leading up to the blue supermoon was the second supermoon that came in on August 1st. And that was in Aquarius. Okay, we've had a couple Aquarius significators here. So this may have been what really kicked off this cycle for you. Maybe that's when you got in touch with your star and you were like, okay, I know what's going to give me happiness now. So that means there's some things I need to heal. The frog medicine is all about spiritual cleansing. So, you know, maybe you like, if for those of you that message did apply, you might be doing a little bit of that now. You know, people have been trying to thwart you magically. So you're like, okay, I'm going to cleanse away that energy. I know how to address that. You're doing that work. Spiritual cleansing baths may be very helpful for you at this time. I also see you doing a lot of release work. You know, you're just releasing the past. You might be having some emotional discussions with past. I'm getting like maybe past loves, okay? Because I don't know why, but these two jugs here are almost reminding me of, like, you know, like the Ace of Cups, like maybe these were past, you know, relationships that you had. You're spilling out those cups now. You're like, okay, I'm letting go of old emotions associated with this. And as I do this, I'm also looking at this pool of water. I'm reflecting. I'm looking back at myself, you know, as well. And where I need to clear out when I'm feeling that I didn't express. So I feel like this is the process you're in right now. And there is some love from above. It wants to come in for you. So once you're done with this process and you're done with this release work, love comes to fill that cup. And it's very beautiful. And this is you doing the work. Oh my gosh, I cannot make it up. Look what comes next. The Emperor. The Emperor. This is Emperor to Empress. Wow. Okay, this is two people coming together who have really done the work. Individually. 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 And it's because you are refusing to accept an offer that is just like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. You know, you're spilling out these cups. You may have gone through a few different options, you know, repeated disappointments, you know. It could have been four real disappointing experiences. And, you know, maybe you even had somebody recently come your way, you know, that gave you an offer. Could be somebody that, you know, you dealt with before, where you feel like they always come in, they kind of cast a glamour. And maybe you really stood your ground and you refused it because you're like, you know what? No. You know, I know what I want. I know my worth. I know what I deserve. I'm not settling for this anymore. And it looks like it turns out beautifully for you. I mean, 37:11 on the clock, 10:11. Once you close the old cycle, you come into alignment, okay? This is you, first of all, coming into alignment within yourself, but you are coming together with a soulmate. It's beautiful. There's a lot of growth here. And there's a lot of growth that happens internally, but there's a lot of growth within this relationship as well. And there's a lot of growth that you will see manifest in your life. It's also like this person, you and this person coming together, there's a lot of like material abundance that comes from you connecting too. It's interesting. When you get two empowered people, they come together, their creative energies really merge, and it's amazing what you can make happen, okay? I'm getting that peace. There might be some component in that. For some of you, this is really like something you're coming together with somebody you can really create with on a business level as well. And wow, things will really take off for you, okay? I want to get sort of like an overarching theme for you. This feels really good to me. I mean, let's not taint it, all right? Look at this. There's that owl, bottom of the deck energy, dawn, the light after the darkness. So this is a brand new beginning for you because you've been using your wisdom, all right? So this is the Halloween Oracle. Halloween may be very special for you this year, okay? There might be something that really pops off for you this year. Just to bring in that magical piece, since it did come in, Halloween is considered Witch's New Year, you know, so this might mark really the beginning of a brand new cycle for you. Something really special goes down at that time of year. I also feel with that Halloween piece coming in that you got a lot of ancestors that are like looking out for you, you know. Remember to leave them something sweet. Remember to give them an offering on Samhain if that's your practice, you know, if you're on that path. Because I do feel like you've been having your ancestors really look out for you. They've been guiding you and helping you in this process. Yeah, because you didn't always see clearly. Look at that owl in reverse. I love how that comes out like that. Wise seeing wise action. Yeah, you got what you needed by, you know, really kind of diving deep and deep into the shadow time. You were able to retrieve what you needed to see, but there was a time you couldn't see clearly, and you really got a lot of help from your ancestors in regard to this. Maybe even current, you know, living relatives, you know, your family has been on your side and they've been supporting you and helping you through the challenges you've been facing, okay? But I think you're seeing clearly now. Overarching theme for Ophiuchus for this particular lunar cycle that we got culminating with that Pisces blue supermoon on August 31st. What's really coming in? What is really going to be the thing, that key that comes in for Ophiuchus with this Pisces blue supermoon on August 31st? And this looks really good. You've done a lot of transforming of behaviors. Some of you, you've been releasing an addiction, and that's what's needing to continue to be cleansed before you can step into alignment with this. All right. Some of you, it's old trauma that you need to cleanse, so it doesn't tamper with this connection that's coming in for you and all that it brings. So I do see that you're still doing some healing work. You're not rushing, okay? I don't feel that at all. There doesn't feel any kind of impulsiveness in this. There's willingness to lay down a proper foundation in what you're heading toward. Yes, look at this. I told you, trick or treat, okay? Trick or treat, it's in reverse, okay? This is what's interesting, because on here it says mischief and play, and look at, there's that devil energy, and look at the ghosts. So I think you're giving up the ghosts, you know? You're not letting stuff haunt you anymore that has its roots in the past. You're not gonna, be operating out of the same kind of like, unhealthy patterns that you have in the past. I think you've transformed a lot. And that's what leads you to the treats, that's what leads you to the rewards. And maybe you were playing a bit in the past, maybe there was some dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. Maybe there was just a little bit too much, Ted says yes, messing around, not taking things seriously. Maybe even a little bit of kind of like trickster sort of energy in play. Maybe you fucked around and you found out, that's a possibility too. But I feel like you're getting back to the heart of what really matters. We have happiness in our hearts and homes. I think wherever you're headed, it feels like home. You're coming into alignment with someone that feels like home. And there's a lot of beautiful protection energy around this with the gargoyles. So welcome home, Sagittarius. I mean, you are a Sag, Ophiuchus. If you don't know, just in case you don't know, Ophiuchus is Sagittarius, born November 30th to December 18th. So it's looking good for you, Ophiuchus. Well done.